So I want to apologize in advance. The scores for the SAT were supposed to come out today, as I am told. I took the March SAT, and now I am eagerly awaiting them, so if I hear any notification coming from my phone, I might flinch a bit. Have you taken the SAT yet?
No, I haven't. I was going to take it, but I decided not to just because I was so close to the deadline and I wanted time to study. But my friend took it, and it was funny because she told me that, I know I'm going to fall asleep during the SAT. So she decided to take a whole bottle of 5-Hour Energy. You're only supposed to take a little sip of the energy every 2 hours. She took the whole bottle and she told me that she fizzed out during the test.
She did not.
She was so, in her words, cracked out that she couldn't focus on anything. And then later, she fell asleep during the writing part of the SAT.
No.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh
no.
And I was laughing the whole time when she told me that. I told her, how do you not know? And I said, why didn't you read the bottle? And she goes, I didn't, I thought that it was straightforward. I didn't know I had to read the directions. And I was like, whoa, I don't know what to tell you.
May hope and lots of luck and that sweet, sweet curve be with us all on this great day. Hi, and welcome to the 12th ever episode of Young and Terrified. I am your humble host, as always, Katy Someillan. My guest today is Rein. Hi, Rein.
Hi.
How have your past 24 hours been?
They've been pretty mellow. I mean, I was sleeping and I was reading and sleeping some more. I've been really tired this week, so just being able to do nothing was the best.
Yeah, I wish I could do nothing, but I've been on a constant motor of progress right now. That's really great that you've been taking a rest because I feel it's so not often. What is not often? What is this word? Wait, I can't think of the word that is opposite of often. I don't know. Okay, this is giving me a moral dilemma. But anyway, it is not occasional. It's not usual that people our age get a lot of sleep and are very calm and comfortable in every situation we're in because school and life and everything. But it's really great that you're exercising your self-care.
Always.
Well, we're going to get into the show right now. We just came back from this week-long New York trip to Columbia University in which we attended the Columbia Scholastic Press Association Spring Convention for high school students. What was your general idea of the trip?
Well, personally, I loved it. I felt like that I was getting that college experience way earlier than I knew I would, because, we have college in 2 years. And I felt really independent. And that was really cool. And I loved the classes that we took. They were really awesome.
What was your favorite one?
There was one that, the literal title was "You Sound Like Stupid."
That was great.
That was an amazing one. It was so awesome. What he was talking about how in this generation we say and us too much, and it butchers us as teenagers. It makes us sound like we are less educated and intelligent than we are. So I liked that he was giving us guidelines as to not sound that way and to how to sound smarter. And then also, I was with a friend of mine in the class.
You said,
Sorry. There was this guy, I was with my friend in the class, and we were just listening, listening to what he was saying. And then there's this kid in the corner. He was a guy, and he was sitting all the way on the end of these long tables. I don't know how to explain it. And he was so exuberant. He was so, I want to say lively. He would ask okay.
You noticed yourself saying, here's the thing, the great thing about after going to that one, I noticed everything. But it makes me so annoyed with other people because I hate it when they say it. And then this one girl, I tried to tell her, I was like, hey, you really shouldn't say that. And she's my best friend. So I was like, you know what? Why don't we do it too? Why don't we do it with the cards? Why don't I tell you when you're saying and us and stuff like that? And she was like, no, if you do that, I'll hit you. I'll hit you with the cards. I was what do you want me to tell you? I want you to sound. She had a whole conversation with me a while back about how she thought that she didn't sound
sound intelligent and smart. And I was like, you're right, because you do use likes, ums, and uhs a lot. And then I give her the idea with the cards, and she was like, no, I'll hit you with the cards. And I was, well, how am I supposed to help you then? Anyway, when the presenter was telling us all these things, and he was asking us rhetorical questions, that's the word, rhetorical questions, he would be like, yes, or no. Like he would scream, and me and my friend were looking at each other like he was crazy. Like he was weird. I kept giving her this look and she kept giving it back to me, and it made the class more fun than it was just because he was so funny. So that was really fun.
I also went to that class, and we were actually going to go to the same class at the same time. The thing is, when we got there, it was about to begin. The whole room, this room was full. This wasn't an auditorium classroom, but this was a Mac Daddy classroom. It was big. We were in there, and they're like, the people helping out, that is, oh, you can go and sit on the floor. It's all right. Just sit on the floor. It'll be fine. So me and my friend were like, we're going to go sit on the floor because we have other presentations we want to do tomorrow, and we don't want to waste our first day just going from class to class being lost, because that's basically what happened most of the trip. We were lost a lot. We go and we sit down and we're watching this presentation, and it's really good. It's popping. We're learning. We're making jokes. Everyone in the whole room is participating. Now, as he's speaking, I see someone with one of the red shirts that's working there. They walk up to me and my friend. And they're like, hey, you can't sit there. You need to leave. Now, at first, I thought this person was another student attending the conference. So we're like, no, we were told he could stay, so we're good. That was when we realized that person had an official role. They come back. And they're like, it's against code that you're sitting there. You can't sit here anymore. You need to leave. And then the presenter's like, stopping my presentation. No, thank you. I'll pay the fire marshal if he comes in and finds us. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen. Like, the fire marshal's not going to bust in mid-presentation and be like, hey, people sitting there. No. That was maybe one of the best presenters there, and I had such a great time at that one. So what about New York as a city did you like most?
I like Times Square a lot. I think that was the prettiest thing I've ever seen. Like, all the lights and how it all corresponded together. And all the people, too. I liked that it was packed with so many people and that they were all there coexisting together. So that was really cool. But I'm not going to lie, as a city, I wasn't as excited as I thought I would have been going there. I had wanted to go there a few years back really bad. Like, it was like my dream to go to New York. And then I had a chance to go with my aunt, but she told me, no, you can't go anymore. And I was really upset, and I've always wanted to go. But then I went to Chicago, and I've been there a few times. New York is pretty much the same as Chicago. The only difference is there's more tourists and there's more like lights, and they don't really light up their streets the way Chicago, Chicago doesn't light up the streets the way New York does.
Yeah.
So it was really pretty to see all that, but I wasn't as excited as I thought I would have been.
Yeah, I get very panicky around a lot of people. Just in one place, there's a lot of people, and a lot of people screaming at you, a lot of people haggling at you, a lot of people just on like street corners trying to sell you stuff. That stuff all gets me anxious. And as much as I love New York, I just kind of feel like, don't talk to me. So I feel there's a certain sentiment about people in New York. It's like, I don't want anything to do with you. You don't want anything to do with me. I feel this is a locals thing, but just the whole tourism thing. And as a tourist, it's a lot to take in because there are so many people, and it's an obvious sign of overpopulation. I was telling you the whole trip is like, this is overpopulation at its finest, at its best and grandest.
But you have to admit that the people that were around us, like the people who kind of were working for the tourists' benefit, were really funny. Like, there was that one lady with the guitar. There's this one lady with the guitar, and she was wearing, like, I don't even know, like raggedy clothes, like just a bunch. And she had a ukulele with only 2 strings on, and she was like yodeling.
No, she was like yelling something.
Wailing, but she would say the exact same thing over and over again, like, it was so funny. And then you had the guy in the subway who, oh my God, what did he say?
I wasn't there. I don't think I was in that subway car.
No sin can enter the kingdom of God. And he kept saying it over and over. And I will never forget that. Just because it was like so random. Hey, just so you know, no sin can enter the kingdom of God.
I feel there's a lot of life in New York. I feel New York is a very alive city. It is a place, really is a city that never sleeps. I feel there are only two places that are like New York, and that is Las Vegas, because it in itself does not sleep. It could be day or night, and it's the same thing. Or I'd say London is the only thing that could maybe compare that I've been to. So seeing the liveliness, seeing people going to work and they have an agenda and they're not going to stop for you. They're not going to move for you. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that sense of individualism. It's like we're all in our lanes. We're doing our thing. We're being our own people. We're being creative. We're being business people. We're being whatever we're doing. But that's us. And I like the diversity that New York has as far as that goes. What were your favorite touristy things other than like Times Square that we did?
I actually really like seeing the top of the rock. It was really cool. I had seen snow before, but I had never really seen it to the extent I saw it that day. And it was really cool being up there with you and being up there with our other two friends, just looking at all of New York and looking at all of the scenery. It was so pretty, and you can see all of the lights from up there, and it was amazing. It was really cold. I was freezing to death, and the wind, I swear, it's like we were on like a plane, but it was really fun to see, and the flurries that were on my coat looked really cute too.
The moment we walk out and everyone's like, it's snowing! Because we're all a bunch of Miami kids. Half of us have never seen snow. Last time I saw snow was 10 years ago, and it was just magical, and we're all like, it's snowing, it's snowing. Even the teachers were like kids. We're all just little kids playing outside. I'm thinking of Central Park. Okay, we went to Central Park, and this is the day we flew in, so we're sightseeing, and the first thing we went to see was Central Park. There's a little playground. There's little dips in the playground for like kids can like play in, because nothing like a good childhood in a pit, am I right? These pits are filled with snow, but what we didn't know was that the snow had turned into ice. So I'm gonna jump into it because it's gonna make a nice video for my vlog. Also, I made a whole vlog of the trip. It's gonna be down in the description when I finally get that edited, but I'll probably have some up by the time this comes out. But as I am running, I realize, oh no, this is not a good idea. And then I fall badly into the ice, and it is very, very cold. I feel myself just hurt, and I'm like, why did I do this? This was stupid. But as a Miami kid who has never seen snow, I don't think we understand the concepts that snow turns into ice after a while if it stays in one place for a long time.
Well, really, I think snow turns to ice when the temperature goes up and then goes back down. So it's still cold enough for it to be ice, but or snow, but they kind of got stuck or melted together.
There we go, Science with Rein. Tune in next week for Science with Rein.
Yes, I would love a segment.
So, all in all, New York was really fun. I learned a lot about branding and advertising, and even for this podcast, and I learned a lot about people during this trip. I got to talk to some people from different states who were going to this convention. One girl from Georgia, another from Texas. I met a lot of people from California. Just a lot of people, a lot of really, really smart teens. Wow. I wish I was that smart. And then they would show me their yearbook spreads because it was a journalism convention, and yearbook is under that. Wow, that's a beautiful spread. It gave me a new appreciation for people's creativity. And now I know about you, but that's kind of what I got out of it.
Yeah, what I got out of it was, creativity, but more of how to have more of it, how to think creatively and how to come up with new innovations and new things. And the fact that it's okay to have writer's block, but at the same time there are ways to combat it rather than just use writer's block as an excuse to not keep creating something that you thought of in the first place. And also the fact that your first idea is never going to be your main idea, but you have to keep thinking along the way. And as well as using other people's ideas to further your own.
So, all in all, New York was a really fun, I learned a lot about people. During this trip, I got to talk to some people from different states who were going to this convention, and I learned a lot about people. We're now going to the second topic, and maybe it's not as fun as the topics we usually do. And I wish I didn't have to talk about this. And I feel like everyone's been talking about this. And at this point, it's an echo chamber of ideas, but it's ideas that need to be spread and talked about and shared. And that is gun control, specifically in high schools in America, because that's something we still need to worry about now. It's ridiculous. Parkland, Maryland, and any other shooting in school that has come before it now. If you feel like you can't listen to this thing, if you feel unsafe, if you feel mentally unsound by listening to this, by all means skip. I will put a chapter time in the description. Otherwise, we're going to continue with this, and this is something we have to talk about because Parkland was really close to us. Parkland's an hour away. I want to know, after all this things with Parkland and Maryland, how do you feel?
I felt really scared at first, just the fact that it happened so close to us. I personally didn't know anyone who went to the school or who dealt with someone who died during the shooting, but my best friend, she knew a lot of people who went there. None who died, thankfully, but people who went there, and she got their stories of how scared they were of what happened. Some people who didn't even know what was happening, like they had earphones in and they didn't even understand what was happening till police came in and told them they had to stand up and show their IDs, who were they, and that something was going on. And I feel like this is one of the saddest moments in our history as high schoolers, because we shouldn't have to deal with something like this, like having to be afraid of going to school thinking that someone will come and harm us, for learning.
Yeah, like you go to school to be safe, and you learn to how to live in a world. You learn to feel valued, and to be taken like that, for something that crazy to happen in school, nonetheless, a place where you should feel safe, a place where your parents trust entirely that you'll come back home intact, and come back home having learned something. Hopefully, or doodle the day away. I don't know, but if you come back home intact, it calls to mind that there is something deeply wrong with our society. I don't think it's a whole thing with the video games. I don't think it's just any old person just got angry and lashed out. I definitely think it's a mental health issue, and I definitely think it's a gun control issue.
Not only is it a mental health issue or a gun control issue, but also it's an issue between how people treat others, There's the way you treat someone can affect what happens to you. They always say what goes around comes around. And what was so sad is that he was bullied in school and alienated from all the kids around him. I mean, a part of me understands that what the things like depression, being alone can lead to, even things such as violence.
This whole deal, I really like how the students at Parkland are dealing with it. I like how they're calling for reform. This is something that should have had a reform years ago. We shouldn't have agencies like the NRA successfully paying people, our representatives that we voted for, to keep guns and block gun laws to be made. We need regulation. Now, should everything be regulated? Well, that's up to the person, that's up to you. But it's a human issue. It's not a partisan issue. It's not a Democrat, not a Republican, not a communist or capitalist issue. It's a human issue. These are lives of future adults we're talking about. I don't want to get all patriotic or I don't want to play with anybody's emotions, but this is America's children that we're dealing with. And the fact that we're not safe is kind of ridiculous.
It's so sad because how many people have to die in America before we realize that our gun control is an issue. It's a problem. Getting guns in America is too easy. They're not finding reforms, finding ways to fix it and to make it harder for us to obtain guns without, having tests done to make sure that we are mentally and physically able to own them.
I feel what we need to do, and I feel as teens we need to do, is just kind of talk about it and spread the word on social media. Take a stand against this. Also, we should take a stand with the kids who are depressed or are lonely, or make sure that they feel welcome too. Because saying that a school is bully free is one thing. Saying that a school, oh, everyone has friends here, everyone's super nice here, that's one thing. But another thing is actually putting in the effort to make sure that everyone is included, that everyone is here. And we are, dare I say, a family, kind of. A very dysfunctional one, nonetheless, probably. Maybe we don't have to like each other. We don't. Not everyone has to like each other. That's what the world is. But we don't have to kill each other. These kids that do these things, they have their whole lives up ahead of them. They have everything. And they lose it all. Maybe not all of it. Maybe they did lose some of it over time. Like, the kid, he lost his parents in, the months before this happened. He was deserving of love. And he needed love. And he didn't get that. He didn't get the attention and the care that he deserved as a human being. Because he is a human being. We can't see these people like beasts. We need to care for kids. They are kids nonetheless.
And what's so sad is that they're not even trying to implement programs to give care to these kids. They're not fixing the problem. They're only trying to cap the problem. I had seen the other day on social media, so I'm not exactly sure if it's true, but the school that was shot, they have to now wear clear backpacks to school. It is mandatory. And I thought, this is not the way to change what's going on. Yeah. And
I feel like more people are just going to get robbed.
Yeah. Honestly, if it were me, I'd paint the inside of my backpack. What can you do? Because it's clear.
People find their workarounds. Same thing with the IDs. They just kind of flip their ID around. It's you can't see, because it's kind of an identification by everybody else. Oh boy. I don't want to be identified by everybody, but that's kind of the situation we've been put in, as well as whole clear backpacks and metal detectors and consolidating all our exits to one door in a high school of 1,400. That is inconceivable.
And with the IDs, it doesn't make any sense because the kids already had IDs. They just had them in their backpacks and in their pockets. They didn't necessarily wear them around their necks. And in my opinion, what's the difference? If you can take it out and have identification that you are who you say you are, it doesn't make a difference that you'd have to wear it on your neck now,
I mean, I would disagree because I feel like it does. Before this, a lot of people just didn't have any reason. They didn't give us a reason why you have to wear IDs. Because we would ask, and they'd be like, just because we made the rules. And it creates a disconnect between faculty and student, adult, and pupil. It makes no sense why you wouldn't tell us, explain to us the security risks, and we'll work with you. We will work with you as a school to reach this goal that we both have in mind. We both want to be safe in school. We both want to make sure that we leave high school intact. Is that so much to ask? Because clearly it feels like a lot now. I feel that the IDs have a purpose and wearing them around your neck has a purpose. Now, I just feel we need to explain to people this is what happens when we don't wear IDs without there having to be a full-on shooting. Isn't that too much to ask? So all in all, it is unfortunate that this happened. It is terrible that this happened. And this probably won't be the last. And it definitely has not been the first. No. This has been the 59th shooting in this school year. We are barely out of the third quarter of the school year, and this is the 59th. We need change, and the kids at Parkland who are leading the Enough movement, they're doing it. We should all join it too. This isn't a partisan issue, as I said. This isn't a Democrat or Republican issue. We all gotta play our part. We all gotta get in there and make sure that the government, Congress, all of our representatives know that, hey, we want to be safe in school. So stop accepting money from the NRA. Thank you very much. We gotta tweet it. We gotta Facebook. We gotta talk. We gotta podcast about it. That's the only way that change is gonna come, guys. Hey, it's your humble host, Katy Someillan, here with your housekeeping for this week. Now, we have a lot of ground to cover, so this is gonna be a lightning mode. So first, I'd like to thank today's guest, Rein. She is great. She's awesome. great guest. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to the podcast. You can leave a comment. Let's talk. Let's have a talk. Let's do it. And when you subscribe, put on that bell. It gives you notifications for when this thing is happening. So turn that on and you'll listen to it every single time. I guarantee. It's like magic. Over on iTunes, you can also subscribe, which will also give you notifications for when it comes out. You can also rate, which really, really helps me out and gives me a little pat on the head virtually through the internet saying that I did a good job. So go do that. You can find the podcast on Twitter at young_terrified. It's really popping over in the Twitter sphere. Guys, hitting at it hard, going at it. Follow the Twitter. It's fun. Follow me on Snapchat at Katy Some. That is Katy Some on Snapchat. Today we have a couple shout outs to give. Shout out to this really cool local candle company called Aroma de Soy. Now, Aroma de Soy has 100% soy candles that come in a variety of different scents. One that I really love is enchantment and lavender. That's difficult to say. And they're not super expensive. Like a lot of candles from Bath & Body Works tend to be really, really pricey, but these are at most $10, which is great. So head on over to them and get yourself a candle. As well as that, I would like to shout out to everyone I met at CSPA, all these amazing, bright kids, and especially shout out to this one group from Texas who found my podcast and said they loved it and were playing it in their rooms, and when they told me this, I almost cried. But yeah, last but not least, as we go towards the rest of this show, I would like to dedicate this episode to the kids in Parkland and the movement going on now. Go out there, vote, fight for what you believe in, fight for gun control, because we desperately need that now. So that's the end of this, and we're going to get right back into the show right now. And we are back from housekeeping. Thanks to me in the future who recorded that. But right now, I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question. And your question is, we recently got inducted into an honor society called Quill and Scroll, which is for journalism and creative writing and film, all that journalistic stuff. We just got inducted on Wednesday. It was very fun. There was a whole thing. I think we're getting pins. Now, there's a lot of honor societies, but none that are really creative or really different. So if you could create an honor society of your own, what would it be?
I feel like it would be an honor society that had to do something with sarcasm or a comedy. Wait, but let me tell you why. Because the thing is, okay, when people are sarcastic, for some reason, people associate sarcasm with being rude or mean. But the thing is, sarcasm is your way of expressing yourself and being funny. And also, it shows that you're smart because you're coming up with something witty. And sarcasm can also lead to comedy and comedians. And I think that comedians who use sarcasm are amazing. So I would either have like a sarcasm honor society or a comedic honor society where we work on sarcasm and how to be more sarcastic in everyday life.
What would be the requirements? Like, how do I get into this honor society?
Well, you have to be seen by certain teachers using a lot of sarcasm. Just all the time, yeah. And also, you have to be good at English. You have to have good English grades, and yeah, I think those would be my requirements.
I can imagine the recommendation letter for that.
I don't know whether to be insulted or proud.
Like, imagine like you're like, oh, you've just chosen for the sarcasm honor society.
I think it'd be good.
I'm starting to collect myself. So before each of these honor societies, when we were doing the induction ceremony, they all had a little paragraph about the society. I think for Sarcasm Honor Society, it would be hilarious, but also hilariously dry to the point where even the National Honor Society kids would be like, what? Like, what are they saying?
I think that would be the point, to be super dry. Like, we're inducted. No, I think it would go like, congratulations for being inducted. Not really. I think that you guys did a great job. Sorta. Like, I don't know, like something like that.
It's like, you guys did okay. You're all right, I guess. I don't know.
Y'all ain't all that.
It's like, you're not really all that. It was okay. It was all right. Imagine the paper you get when you get inducted. You're shaking with your right hand, and with your left hand you get a sticky note that just says
No. You get a sticker on your wrist that basically just says, "You're in. Good job."
Yeah. I feel the surrealist meme market could make their way into there. That's an society I want to join. Put that on my college application. All the Ivies are going to accept me now. Well, Rein, thanks for being on the podcast. It's been really great having you on. Thanks to everyone listening. Also, as a little side thing, thanks to the people who were at the convention, CSPA, and listened to the podcast and thought it was cool and told me about it. And I cried a little on the inside because this is something I work on a lot. And thanks to our sponsor today, Aroma de Soy, for giving me that candle and giving you cheaper candles, because candles are expensive, guys. So, before we close it out, Rein, where do you see yourself 5, 10, 20 years in the future? Go.
I see myself doing anything that has to do with writing. I love writing so much, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, but not just that. Like, I've always been that person that I've wanted to do everything. I've never wanted to just subject myself to one subject, to one type of job where I'm just a writer or I'm just a lawyer, but I've always wanted to be so many things and just do everything and live my life to the fullest. So that's where I see myself doing all my life, because I'm never going to stop living my life to the fullest degree.
Do you see yourself in a bigger city or moving suburban, or where do you see yourself physically, like location-wise?
Well, I'm a person that likes to travel and move around a lot, so my dreams will change in the future, obviously. But
Yeah.
right now, my dream would be to have a suburban house, but travel to different places, like to travel to different cities and then maybe have apartments there, or to just stay there for a amount of time and then come home, because I'll miss my house. And then I'll go somewhere else again, because I hate staying in one place.
Yeah, I feel that also speaks to the fact that you want to do all the things and want to live in all the places, because I feel our generation specifically has this kind of idea of normalcy that we don't want. Like, I think as a generation, we're a little bit more spontaneous than the last one, and we're able to. So thanks for being on. Thanks for the answers. Thanks to everything. And I hope you all have a really nice day. Goodbye.